What's up mga lods, this is Master Renz and welcome back to my channel. So sa video kita matatapay the darkest secret na ang pamagat ay Never Open the Door 10 Ghost Videos. So meaning wag daw natin bubuksan itong mga pintuan natin sa bahay natin pag napanood natin itong video na to kay the darkest secret. So make sure magsusubscribe kayo sa channel niya kasi ang ganda rin ito, ang galing din ito magkwento. So without further ado, let's go sa go! Let's go to the
What awaits
secret.
you in the next few minutes is something you won't want to miss. Shadows that move on their own, presences that silently stalk, and the top spots that will literally make you jump out of your seat. So get ready because my name is Leonor Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present Never Open the Door, 10 Ghost Videos. Number 10.
Number 10.
A group of young people decided to venture into the ruins of an old abandoned hospital. It was daytime. Sunlight streamed through the shadowed ruins, and everything seemed to indicate that there was nothing to fear. That is, until they began to hear desperate howls from dogs. See for yourself what happened next.
Oye, yo no lo conozco nada, digo, ¿qué haces hoy? Uy, pero que hay una caldera.
Ano to? Mga Spaniel ba to? Mga Spanish ata itong mga to eh.
La siento siya tapangin ng poblasyon.
Mga Latin yung sinasabi, parang Latin.
Alam mo to eh. Ay, ayun, hindi na pala sila. Tama na, bakit mo to?
Ano ang pinagagawa yun?
Pero los perros, weón.
Ano yun?
Ven para acá, weón.
Oh! Nangyari ba't na natakbo? Wala nangyari, nakita nyo? Ano ba may nakadungaw? Ay, ano yan? Ano yun?
It was only a few milliseconds of exposure, but that was enough to send everyone fleeing in terror. It's a face, but it doesn't look human. Strange skin, a fixed,
Ano kaya yan, no? May mukha eh. May mukha nga.
penetrating gaze, and most unsettling, a kind of protrusion, like horns on the sides of its head. Do you notice it? There is no clarity, there is no explanation. Just that instant, and then nothing. Do you think it was simply some vagrant hiding among the ruins, distorted by the shadows? Or are we facing something much more concerning? An encounter with a being of unknown origin? Let me know in the comments. Number 9.
Mukhang nanakot lang lalaki.
During a night shift, a nurse began to hear strange noises coming from one of the recovery rooms. They weren't voices. They weren't machines. They were irregular sounds, almost as if something were moving where it shouldn't.
Night shift to, sabi.
Intrigued, and with that uncomfortable feeling running through her body, she decided to take out her cell phone and record as she slowly approached. Upon entering the room and turning on the lights, she captured something completely incomprehensible with her camera.
Ano yun? Uy, may paa. Uy, kumalaw ah. Ano yun? Ba't may paa dun?
If that's a human foot, then where's the rest of the body? The bed is empty. There's no one on it. No signs of anyone hiding. And yet, that foot remains there, motionless, as if it belonged to something or someone that simply isn't complete. Now, looking
Hindi kaya mannequin lang yun. Pero kahit mannequin, sa unang tingin, matatakot ka rin talaga eh.
at it from a purely logical perspective, it could be a visual error, a play of shadows, or even some misplaced object that from that angle looks like a human foot. But there is a problem. The shape, the details, the proportions, everything indicates that it is real. And this is where the situation takes a much darker
Matinignan pa
turn.
niya sa ilalim.
Within certain currents of occultism,
Sure.
there is talk of incomplete entities, manifestations that do not manage to fully materialize on our plane. Some ancient texts describe them as fragments, parts of something larger that try to cross over but fail. Sometimes just a hand, other times a face, and in more disturbing cases, limbs that appear without a body, without origin, as if something were trying to get in. What do you think this nurse witnessed that night? A simple trick of the mind, or evidence of something that shouldn't exist in our world? Let me know your opinion, because this is getting worse and worse. Number 8.
Number 8, no.
In this position, we find ourselves with a case that to this day is still developing. This is Courtney Hurt, a young mother who has begun to share on her social networks a series of disturbing episodes that for many simply have no explanation. Constant strange situations that began to repeat themselves within her own home. And after experiencing several disturbing events, she decided to do something not everyone would do. Take out her cell phone and start recording. Watch.
Anyone else car seat just randomly start rocking. My daughter's not in it. Wala naman daw yun. Na.
Literally nothing here. My baby is sleeping.
Baby.
Don't have a remote. It just did its own thing.
What?
There you have it. Her daughter's car seat, completely alone, with no one around, without any contact whatsoever. And yet, it starts to move. Small shifts, but clear enough to rule out a simple illusion. There are no visible mechanisms, no electronic toys accidentally activating, and most unsettling of all.
Ay, shoutout kay San Pedro Ghost Hunters yan. Thank you sa pagpasok sa akin live. Nood tayo, ta.
Is her dog. Look closely. He doesn't take his eyes off her for a second, as if he senses something we cannot see. A few days later, Courtney posts again. This time she was in her daughter's room, tidying up while listening to a podcast. Everything seemed normal, until something happened again.
I noticed my dog staring at the door.
2.5 hours away, and it looked exactly like my vision. And immediately in my heart, like I cannot explain the feeling in my heart. Like it just felt warm, and I'm like,
Umuwi yung aso.
my vision. And you guys are like, wow, this sounds like such an amazing story.
Pagka ganyan, out of nowhere, may nakikita nga yun.
All the time, but there's more to it. And this is just, wow. Looking back, I'm like, God really...
Kung nagkasalita yung aso, may gusto kong sabihin eh.
So, I secured that wedding venue. It's great. Everything's good to go. I saw the papers. I called Drew. He was like, sick at PA school at the time. And so, he could have toured with me at a test that day. And he was like, this is it. This is my vision. And so, fast forward to the wedding day. Fast forward to the wedding week.
Una. Saktong-sakto, may nakikita yung aso na yun. Kasi mga aso talaga, yung mga hayop, lalo yung mga aso. Pag out of nowhere, titingin yan may tinitignan yan. Yung talagang serious look. Makikita natin sa mga mata nila na talaga mayroon sila nakikita. Tapos sakto-sakto biglang tumumba yung, ano yung bote ba yun? Oh, pandede yun, eh, dede ng bata, oh. Oh, sa bata yun, dede ng bata, eh, di ba? Papatak mo si ate mo, oh.
As if it were a scene from a horror movie, the dog remains completely still. It growls and slowly begins to move forward until it leaves the room, as if it knows something is watching. But the strangest thing happens at the end, when an object falls from that piece of furniture for no apparent reason. The fear is immediate, and Courtney reacts as anyone would, grabbing her daughter and leaving that place. Since then, her followers have had no doubts. Many claim that she and her family are being affected by some kind of entity. Some speak of presences, spirits that manifest in vulnerable spaces, especially where there are children. Others go further, suggesting the possibility of witchcraft, negative energies sent out of envy, or even something that was attracted unintentionally. According to some beliefs, baby objects can become points of connection, especially if something manages to become attached to that environment. But the truth is, nobody knows for sure. The only thing that's clear is that these two recordings are just a small sample of everything that Courtney and her family claim to be experiencing. She says they have sought help, that they have tried to find answers, but so far, there is no solution.
Tumawag kayo ng pare, pabendisyonan niyo yung bahay niyo. Yun na yung magandang solusyon dyan.
Many of the videos you're about to see were submitted by my audience. If you know of or own similar videos that you'd like me to see, please feel free to send them to the email address on your screen. And if you enjoy my content, please subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Facebook. Without further ado, let's continue. Number 7.
Okay, number 7 na.
There are places where humans dig without really knowing what they might find. And what you're about to see is a clear example of that. This clip comes from a group of miners who were working in a large underground tunnel. The day was proceeding normally until something began to change. A slight vibration, a deep creak, and then chaos ensues.
Ano kayo nakita nila? Ha? Nagsisigawan? Wala. Ay, 4 sila nakakita. O, isama na natin. 4 ang nakakita, isama na natin yung, o 5 na pala, isama na natin yung kumukuha ng video.
The workers escape as the structure collapses, but something strange is happening. Screams. Did you hear them? Not from one or two, but from dozens and even hundreds of voices. Heart-wrenching screams, overlapping, as if many people were trapped at the same time.
Ako?
They convey pain and despair. Those seen leaving the site also gave their testimony, confirming that the screams didn't come from the tunnel, but from deeper down, from the very depths of the earth. As if for a moment they had been too close to something that should never have been reached. Some even began to talk about a terrifying possibility that during the excavation, they approached what many cultures describe as the entrance to hell. Those who were there said the intensity of those screams was so brutal that it even surpassed the decibels of the rock creaking. Some even venture to say that those screams may have triggered the collapse of the entire structure. To this day, no one has been able to explain what happened.
Baka siguro yung mga ano yan, yung mga previous na miner na pumasok dyan, natabunan tapos humingi ng tulong. Di ba yung mga ganong kwento, yung hihingi sila ng tulong. Pag doon sila namatay mismo kasi hindi sila nakaligtas. Natabunan, na-suffocate yun. Yun yung baka hindi nila natanggap yung pagkamatay nila kaya ganyan nangyayari. For me, sa opinion ko na, sa observation ko.
There are no clear official records, nor a logical reason to justify those sounds. All that remains in the video, and a question that is more unsettling than it should be. What do you think those miners really heard? A still unknown natural phenomena, or something that definitely is not of this world? Comment below. Number 6.
Okay, number 6.
For centuries, cats have been attributed with a sixth sense, a different perception, sharper,
Ay na aso, ito naman pusa. Ano kayang kwento nito?
more connected to the invisible. And the strangest thing is that sometimes they use it to protect us, without us even realizing it. Something that becomes completely evident in the footage you're about to see. Watch.
Oh? Ah! May nakikita din yan. Ayos to, tinatabi yung pusa sa mga bata, sa mga baby. Baka naman hikain ng baby niyan. Hindi aso pa oh. Oh? Ano talaga sa amo eh. Alam niyo kasi may kasabihan din daw sa mga pusa. Correct me if I'm wrong sila daw yung nagtataboy din ng mga bad spirits yan sa mga bahay natin lalo sa bahay natin yan sa observation ko. Yun yung gawain ng mga pusa eh. Kung ang aso, uungol, kakahol, tapos yung nakatingin lang, di ba yung kagaya ko kanina, uungol, or minsan kakahol. Ito ng mga pusa na to, talagang yung pinapakita kanina, yung nakikita yung parang may inaaway sila na hindi naman nakikita. Ibig sabihin, tinataboy nila yung masamang spirito, parang protection nila sa amo nila. Kaya lang. Ay, sabi ni San Pedro Ghost Hunters, sabi, kung lumalaban ng pusa kaysa sa aso, oo nga eh. Sabi ng mga matatanda.
It's hard to ignore. Cats completely alert, staring at empty spots, following something with their eyes that the camera fails to capture. They jump, attack, swipe at the air, as if something were right there. But the most shocking thing, as this happens while their owners are sleeping, do they see something we can't? Within the world of the occult, cats have been considered for centuries as guardians between planes. In ancient cultures, it was believed that they could perceive entities, energies, presences that completely escape our senses. Some texts even suggest that cats not only see these things, but are able to confront them, to drive them away, to protect the space where they live, as if they were a kind of living barrier between our world and the unknown. And if that's true, then perhaps we are never as alone as we think. Would you like to see a full compilation of cats facing what we can't see? If so, comment cats to let us know how many of you would like that video. Because after this, you might start looking at your cat in a different way. Number 5. The following event came into my possession thanks to Miguel Angel Godoy, a subscriber who from Argentina decided to share something that in his own words, he doesn't know how to process. According to him, after watching a recent video uploaded to my channel about a swing that moved by itself. He remembered that he had a recording saved with quite similar characteristics. A video captured by a school principal shows him trying to understand something that simply doesn't make sense.
Barrio San Martín, son
7:10
de la
a.m.
mañana. Esto yo pensé que era una broma, pensé que era algo
Ang dilim sa kanila, 7:10 a.m. Madilim
llamativo
pa.
por parte de los alumnos, pensé incluso que era un chiste de mal gusto, pero estoy acá en la plaza del barrio San Martín, en San Nicolás de los Arroyos, antes de ingresar a la escuela, y vemos que esa hamaca se está moviendo sola. Esto es completamente sorprendente
Sige,
porque
hangin lang.
la hamaca que está al
Kung
lado
pinagalaw lang niya.
no se mueve. La hamaca del medio. Esto que al parecer puede llegar a considerarse muy extraño. No tiene una explicación lógica. Pero según lo que contaban los alumnos, esta hamaca se mueve sola, siempre de la misma manera. El día de hoy no hay viento, podemos observar los árboles que están totalmente quietos, las luces prenden y apagan, pero esa hamaca siempre se mueve sola.
The scene is clear. A completely empty playground. No children, no adults. It's early morning, a time when hardly anyone would be playing there. There's no perceptible wind. The trees are still, and the other equipment remain motionless. All except one.
Siguro iniisip ko lang din, baka naman minapadaan lang talaga din bata dyan, di niya alam, or ibang tao. Tapos nag-swing bago umuwi sa bahay nila. Ewan ko sa akin ko.
The most unsettling thing is that the original video is 9 minutes long. 9 minutes without cuts. 9 minutes in which that seesaw doesn't stop for a single moment. The man, visibly confused, even crosses paths with students from his school who also notice that phenomena, confirming that what is happening is real. Why only that seesaw? Why aren't the other games moving? What do you think is happening in that place? Is there a rational explanation for such constant, isolated, and precise movement? Or are we facing something that simply doesn't want to be seen, but still wants to be noticed? Let me know what you think. Number 4.
Okay, number 4 na.
The following footage was captured by a security camera in a place that at first glance seems completely normal. In it, you can see a man alone, motionless, as if he were waiting for something. His attire draws attention. A long robe that covers almost his entire body and gives him an appearance similar to that of a monk. Aside from that, nothing out of the ordinary. Until he reveals a small detail, one that completely changes the perception of the scene. Observe.
Ano kaya po?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Ano meron dun?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Ano yung paa niya? Ha? Hoy! Ba't ganyan yung paa niyan? Ba't parang ibang paa niya? Di ba?
أعوذ بالله
Oh? Iba yung paa niya sa ordinaryong tao.
من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Natakot ko, ang creepy nun ah.
They don't look like shoes. They're not boots. They're not footwear of any kind. The man is apparently barefoot, but the shape of his feet doesn't match that of a human being. They are narrower, longer, and end in a hoof-like structure. Do you notice it? Like a goat's. It could be a deformity, a rare medical condition, or even an elaborate staged event. Some of these explanations are reasonable, but they are not enough to clarify the entire sequence.
Oo nga, baka siguro may sakit lang. May ano sa paan. Kaya ganun yung itsura.
This is why we once again turn to the occult, delving into Middle Eastern tales to find a possible answer. In this case, we would be dealing with a being known as jinn, also called genies. These creatures are entities that inhabit a plane parallel to our own, beings made of a different substance, capable of taking human form, of blending in among us without being detected. But they don't always manage to hide everything. According to ancient accounts, there are times when certain features are revealed. Details such as the shape of their limbs or parts of their body that they can't fully imitate. An explanation that perfectly fits the image we see. However, in times when artificial intelligence is capable of generating increasingly realistic images, doubt also remains. What's the most plausible explanation for you? Leave it in the comments. Number 3.
May number 2 na.
What you will see next was sent by Christian Ochoa, a loyal subscriber who sent me a strange recording captured by one of his friends inside her home. According to her, it wasn't the first time strange things had happened in her house. Noises, sensations, presences that could be felt but never seen. Until now. Pay attention.
It's not the curtain. It's walking. Ano yun?
Juan Carlos negro. Yo también tardé en verlo. Mira. ¡No manches! ¡Está caminando! ¿Qué tiene? ¡Está caminando! ¿Eso? ¡No! ¿Qué tiene? ¿Cómo que qué tiene?
Yun ni Anino?
¿No va a dañarlo? No, no sé qué lo... Igual es como un cigarro. ¡Mira! Mira. ¡No manches! Igual es como un cigarro. ¡No! ¿Qué? Mira la sombra, mira aquí en el teléfono, asómate en el teléfono. Cigarro. Pero asómate en el teléfono.
Ba't di pa kayo tumakbo? Huwag natatakot kayo.
Mamá. Dile que venga. Ven, ven, rápido, rápido. Ma. No manches, ven.
It's a shadow, but it belongs to no one. There's nobody, no visible origin, just that dark silhouette moving through the counter. Now, let's try to go the logical route. It could be a shadow cast from the outside, perhaps someone passing by, or even an internal lighting effect that from a certain angle creates that illusion. But there's a problem. The form is too defined and the movement too coherent. It's not a distortion. It's not a flicker of light. It's something that actually seems to be walking. And that's where rationality begins to fall short. From an esoteric perspective, these types of manifestations are known as shadow entities, presences that do not take a complete form, but that manage to project themselves partially into our environment. They don't need a body. They don't need a face. They just need to be there. And in many cases, they manifest in places where strange events have already occurred, as if little by little, they were gaining strength. What exactly did they capture at that counter? A simple illusion caused by the light, or a presence that for an instant decided to reveal itself? I'm reading your comments. Number 2.
Number 2 na.
A security camera installed outside a
Galing ito ni The Darkest Secret eh. Sa mga nagawa ko ng reaction video. Siya yung tipong unique. Hindi kamukha nung kila... Although okay naman sila. Sila Bizarre Bug, si Nook's Top 5, sila... Sino pa ba? Sila Depths of Despair. Basta yung mga yon yung mga napapanood ko. Medyo nagkakapareho sila minsan. Eh kasi The Darkest Secret, siya yung unique na hindi mo makikita doon kila Nooks, kila Bizarre Bob. As in, sarili niyang compilation. Yun ang kagandahan sa kanya, yun ang nagustuhan ko dito.
Refrigerator has caused a stir due to the disturbing image it captured in the early hours of the morning. What did it record? Pay attention.
Ano to? Hoy! Ano, ba't may white silhouette to? Hoy! CCTV to, ha? O, huminto pa eh. Huminto pa siya, oh. Kasi kung halimbawang, ano ba tawag dito, na buong image lang. Kung sabihin natin buong image. Alam ko, agad-agad mawawala eh. Pero dito kasi, gumalaw, huminto, tapos biglang gumalaw ulit. Ako sa akin, sa observation ko. Oh? Hindi na basta na buong image yun.
A kind of whitish thing that glides slowly as if it were floating in the air.
Kung galing pa sa
It doesn't
sakyan.
follow a clear pattern. It doesn't seem affected by the wind. And most unsettlingly, it stops for a few seconds
Hindi kasi Casper, the friendly ghost yun. Joke lang.
as if it were observing something. Also, if you look closely, it leaves behind a kind of trail before disappearing. What could it be? It might look like an insect, but its size, shape, and the way it moves do not match any known behavior. We could even think of an orb. But there's a key detail. The so-called orbs usually move erratically, lightly, almost unpredictably. But not this. It seems to move with intention, as if it knew exactly where it was going. And if it's not an orb, it's not an insect or anything remotely familiar. What did the camera actually capture that morning? Tell me what you think.
Imposibleng orb yan or insect. So,
Number 1.
Palatang white silhouette eh. Last na
This
to.
time, the top spot goes to what could be one of the most disturbing recordings captured in recent times.
Oh, ano kaya?
This recording came to me thanks to Liz, one of our subscribers. In her email, she explains that what you're about to see directly from a security guard who works the night shift at a shopping mall in Mexico. It was around 3 a.m. Everything was closed, the lights were dimmed, and there was absolutely no one around. Or at least, that's what it seemed.
Uy. Uy, baka oh. Oh. Ba't may bata dyan?
There it is, a small figure at the entrance of the establishment. At first glance, it looks like a child, but there are several problems with that. First of all, a child shouldn't be there. At that hour, access is completely restricted. There's no public, no families, only authorized personnel, and definitely no child should be walking around alone in a place like that. But the most unsettling thing isn't his presence, it's the way he moves. Look closely. The video
Yung kilos parang hindi kilos ng ordinaryong tao eh. Ang bilis eh.
is at normal speed. There's no editing, no acceleration, and yet his movements seem odd, unnatural, as if they don't follow a person's normal rhythm, as if the sequences are slightly ahead, as if something doesn't quite fit. Do you notice it? Who or what is really in that recording? Is it possible that a child managed to get in unnoticed? Or are we looking at something that simply took that form? Could it be a camera malfunction? Or is there something else moving where no one should be? Leave your opinion in the comment section because this video has come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.
Okay, yun. Tapos tayo with The Darkest Secret. Subscribe nyo to, Darkest Secret. So sabi ni dito pa San Pedro Ghost Hunters. San Pedro Ghost Hunters, shoutout sa iyo, Kap. Shoutout sa iyo, Lods. Yan. Babaeng mahabang buhok. O baka, batang babaeng mahabang buhok yung sa last part. So yun, subscribe nyo, The Darkest Secret. Comment kayo kung anong sa kayo pinaka nakakpertihan. So yan, thank you so much. See you in my next video and mag-iingat po kayo palagi.